Welcome to the Scott McGlynn Show podcast. Please welcome your host. It's Scott McGlynn.
Okay, let's hit in now, episode 89, and I've got Anthony Bowens on the phone from New Jersey. How are you doing?
Doing quite well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, very cold, like autumn evening over here right now. So, it's my favorite season, or like that's fall for you, right? That's what you call it, fall.
Yeah, wow. It's surprisingly warm here today. I went outside expecting it to be extremely cold, and I'm just hit with this blast of warm air. So it's rather interesting. I'm not complaining though.
No, God, no. Milk that dry, sunny weather as long as you can, I'm telling you. Thank you so much for coming on. I know you've been so busy, and actually, listeners, we have actually been trying to plan this for quite a while.
Yes, it was like a month or two ago. We tried getting the ball rolling on this, and then some unfortunate circumstances happened, and then we had to delay it. But we're here now, and I'm excited.
I know, I'm excited. It's worth the wait. It's worth the wait.
Yes.
So, obviously, I know all about you. And I don't know if some listeners may know about you, some may not know, but you are a wrestler. That's what you do as a living.
Correct.
So let's have a little talk about that. So wrestling, I'm going to say, I watched it when I was a kid, like, Hulk Hogan, the Bulldog, those kind of people,
Mm-hmm.
Love the Bulldog, by the way, along with the beads. Remember him?
The British Bulldog, yeah.
Yes, British Bulldog. So yeah, I know a little bit about wrestling and stuff, but tell me about you. Did you start it when you was very young, when you was in high school? Is that when you kind of got the taste for it?
So I have always been a professional wrestling fan since I was probably about 6 years old. My earliest, I don't remember it, but my earliest kind of interaction with pro wrestling was with my dad. We used to sit and watch it together when I was younger. And I think Hulk Hogan was on the TV, and he was doing his typical hulking up, and he was about to beat up the guy. And my dad said he just felt this tiny little fist just pop him right in the punch when I think I was 3 years old, and I beat up my dad. But that was my first little interaction with wrestling, and then I fell in love with it in 1997, and I've been a fan ever since. But I played baseball from 11 years old all the way through college or university. And after that tenure ended, I was trying to figure out how to fill that empty space, because as an athlete, you typically spend 5 or 6 hours a day on the baseball field training and stuff. So after doing that for 11 years, I was kind of going stir crazy with all the extra free time. And my friends and I had happened to make a funny little YouTube series that involved us playing wrestling characters and beating each other up around the house just for fun, just doing stupid things. And it kind of caught on locally, and people were commenting saying hey, have you ever really thought about doing it, because you look like a pro wrestler? Ooh. And that was the first, I wanted to do it when I was a kid, but I didn't know how. And I was so frail back then, I didn't even think that was a possibility. But that was kind of the first instance where I was you know what? Maybe I should try to find a way to become one. And I did.
Yeah. Because obviously over in America, because I don't think they have them in the UK, but wrestling is a sport there, right? That's a thing you can do in high school.
Yeah. So people tend to get mixed between amateur wrestling, which happens on the high school and collegiate and Olympic level, and then professional wrestling, which is more entertainment based. Yeah. It can take aspects of amateur wrestling and implement it into your performance and make it as real as possible. But there's just a distinct difference between the two.
Ah, right. Okay, because I just see these on the movies, love, the wrestling with the school stuff, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
And obviously, I love the entertainment. They're pretty to look at. Why not watch it? As the entertainment side of things. And I used to watch it when I was a kid, so it was kind of always been there, on my head.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I just want to poke out, actually, because I just come from an LGBT film fest here in my hometown. And I wonder, this is an American movie. It's called Changing the Game. Have you heard about this?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, you will love it. Literally, it follows trans stories, and I think it follows about 3 or 4 different people's stories in America. And one was wrestling. So it was a woman trans going into a man. But obviously because they was classing it still as a lady, like a woman, like he only could like wrestle with like the woman. Interesting film, by the way. So I will DM you that. Yeah, definitely watch it.
I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, going off track a little bit there, but yeah, but it was interesting. You know, it's very interesting. But yeah, anyway, that was like a little school wrestling thing. Yes, but what I love as well, because you take it very seriously. You're very professional, but I love the fun side that you have, because I follow you on Instagram, like, you know, and your story from, I think it was like today, the one with the face, and you just like, everyone goes closer and closer. It's just hilarious.
Last night?
Yeah, it was last night, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Hilarious. Like, I just love how you have like that funny side to it. You know, it's not completely all serious as you see on TV.
When you fall on your head every weekend for the last 7 years, you have to find some humor in it. And when you're spending a lot of time with the same people, traveling in a car for hours or flying places for hours, you have to find ways to keep yourself entertained. And for the most part, sometimes you'll catch little glimpses of magic, like last night when I caught him making that face. So I had to post that.
So, because I know you're in New Jersey now, is that home for you? Is that where you live, or are you like kind of on tour or at the moment?
Yeah, so I currently live in New Jersey, and then every weekend, or try to be every weekend, used to be every weekend, trying to ease up a bit so I don't, I guess, burn out too quickly. I'll be somewhere up and down the East Coast or Midwest or whatever. Like December, we head back to Alaska, which will be my second time up there, which is very exciting because I think we get to see the Aurora Borealis, or the Northern Lights, for the first time, which is super cool. We're going to be going up there twice a year and doing what we call loops, which is basically a weekend of different cities. So we'll be in Anchorage in December, and then we'll go back in May and do Fairbanks, Anchorage, and Homer. I think that's the name of the town. But yeah.
Oh, wait. And those the kind of like you can't get on your bloody camera. That's the ones, right? It has to be like literally in the naked eye, right? You can.
Yeah. I'm not sure, actually. Oh. Well, all I know is I'd rather see it in person than look at it through a lens.
Absolutely, I'm the same. So how do you kind of like prep yourself? You know, because like you said, you go traveling a lot, and you have to put on this performance and be like ready. Like, how do you like get yourself like ready for it mentally, physically? You know.
So physically, I'm in the gym a decent amount when I can. Hope at minimum at least 4 times a week. I also do started to do a lot of cardio this year, and I've seen reap the benefits of that as far as my in-ring stamina goes, and just I guess my body too. It's kind of thinned me up a little bit, which has made things a lot easier performing in the ring because. Oh, excuse me. A lot of times when you have a lot of muscle mass in the ring, you know, you're carrying around a little extra weight, and that tends to affect your stamina. And people tend to discredit the performance and how hard it is to be in an actual match. It's like I was a Collegiate I, Division I athlete, which is like the top level college or university athletes that there can be, and we were drilled into the ground as far as with the workouts that we did, and it was some of the toughest things I've ever done in my life, and even still it does not compare to what we do in a wrestling ring, because there really isn't any way of training to do that, because most of the time they'll have you doing like sprints, or they'll have you doing all these kinds of like CrossFit type things like in other sports. But this, like, there's nothing to really simulate, you know, stop and go. You're sprinting, you're stopping, you're kicking, you're punching, you're getting beat up, you're getting slammed, you're picking up a 250-pound man and throwing him, and you're doing all these crazy stunts, and it knocks the wind out of you. So you have to, the only way to I guess train and prepare is to be in the ring as much as possible, and that's also very draining. So yeah. It's very rough at times. It's also very fun, and I don't know, the more you do it, the more mentally tough you get, per se. Like last weekend or 2 weekends ago, We had a company that I worked for by the name of WrestlePro. We had a 2-night 16-man tournament, which I'm happy to say that I won. I beat everyone else. But, I had to wrestle 4 matches in 2 days. I had one on the Friday, and then I had to wrestle 3 within like 2 hours on Saturday, which I've never done before. So it was mentally and physically challenging because you had to have the cardio to go out there and wrestle 3 15-minute matches. You had to have the stamina to get through it. You have to get through the pain because typically you have one match and it's like, ooh, you wake up the next day and it feels like you got hit by a truck. Then you have to go back out there again and do another match. And then you have to go back out there again and do a third match. It's brutal sometimes.
Yeah, it's intense. Like, you don't want your body to like seize up, right? Otherwise you'd be like, what?
Yeah, you got to stay hydrated and just keep your mind off of adrenaline helps a lot. There's times where you'll be in a match and you'll do all these kind of crazy things and it hurts, but there's not that like massive pain that you think you'll feel. But the second you get through the curtain, an hour or 2 goes by and all that adrenaline wears off, that's when you really feel everything.
Yeah, I can imagine. I could never do what you do, honestly. I go to I'd swim. That's the only exercise really I do. And that kills the heck out of me.
It's not for everybody. So there's a lot of people I said that like to discredit, and they do, oh, it's fake and blah, 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 blah. Scripted, yes, it's scripted, but most of those people I wish I can invite to come train with us for like 2 or 3 days, and I guarantee you they'll leave it a completely different perspective.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, that'd definitely be me. I'd be like, woo, I want to do that again. I'll be one of them. Okay, so it's very interesting to me because I've never actually had a sportsman on my show, I don't think. And I'm like, I'm in the 80s in the episode, so I don't even know. Never had one. It's interesting to me, It's very interesting. So let's talk about love. Let's talk about love.
I love love.
Yeah. And then, so I was doing some digging on your history, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think I've got the story right. So when I was digging about you, I know you are openly bi, right?
Gay.
Yeah. You're openly, and I love you for that. And do you know what? I think it's a lot more like athletes out there, just obviously not come out yet. We won't be putting names, but and to take courage to do it, and especially I think yours is probably one of the quote manual, like a more of a man sport kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like more the manually one,
like a macho kind of sport. You're trying to say?
Thing.
Yeah.
And do you find that was a little bit hard? Because obviously we know who's come out and it's amazing that they do, and the support has been incredible. I think I don't know about you, but what I read, like the support you guys have is really, really well.
Yes. So I was closeted for a very long time. Trying to figure out when was the best time to say something, and then I got into professional wrestling, which, as you said, is a pretty macho sport full of all that typical kind of masculinity stuff. So I wasn't particularly sure how people were going to react to the news. So I would always keep an eye out for people who may have come out, like Darren Young came out, and I wasn't wrestling then, but I just kind of kept an eye on it. He came out. He was one of the first to come out publicly in WWE in like 2012, or I want to say.
Right.
So I just kept an eye on how he was treated, and then as I got into wrestling, like a few independent wrestlers came out, and I kept an eye on them as well. It was a scary time because I just didn't know, as my popularity was growing, I didn't know how people were going to react to me. I didn't know if that was just going to completely kill my career or put a kibosh on everything that I had hoped and dreamed for. But eventually when it did come out, it was overwhelmingly positive, and I was extremely relieved. It's made my friendships and relationships in wrestling and with fans generally a lot stronger because I didn't have to lie. I didn't have to tailor conversations about the people I was speaking to or hanging out with. And just from a performance perspective, just having that wall broken down just, I think, obviously made me more comfortable in my skin, but it also made me more comfortable as a performer to just go out there and be myself and not really care.
Yeah. It felt like, did you feel like you was living like a double life?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I didn't have my friends, like I told my best friend Greg in 2010, he was the first one I told, and then I kind of filled in the rest of my core friend group, which is about 7 other guys, all straight dudes, and they were very, very, very supportive, and I think played a huge role of just making me feel more comfortable with myself. So it was very hard, but it was also a little bit easier because I can kind of share that double life with them. So it wasn't like I was totally like isolated and by myself, just hiding everything, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was hiding from the world, but at least I had this group of people that I can kind of, speak my mind to and know what's going on in my life.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And I think what people like speak to you as well, like just people contact on social media, and you must say the same. But everything in time would just fit. It's not do it now, just in time, slowly. It will gradually just be open, and
yeah, you'll know when the time is right, because it got to the point where so basically how it happened, I'll try and sum up the story because I tend to ramble sometimes. I met my boyfriend Michael in 2016 in May, and we started dating at the end of July, and one of his goals was always to be a YouTuber. He wanted to have like a cool YouTube channel, and he wanted to make a YouTube video with me called The Laughing Challenge. He thought it would be fun, he thought it would be cute. And at the time, I still wasn't out of the closet yet. And I say this every time I have an interview. Like, I feel so guilty that I put him through that the first 6 months. But to his, it's just where I was in my life at the time. And I give him so much credit for putting up with that. I promised him it wouldn't be forever. It was just bear with me until the time was right. But anyway, so he wanted to make the video, and I was like, I don't know about that. And then I saw how heartbroken he was. I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just make the video. No one's going to see it anyway. We don't have a following. Like, you have like 2 subscribers. Let's just go ahead and put it up. And eventually, maybe like a couple months later, my buddy Damien, who's a fellow wrestler of mine, texted me. And he was like, dude, why didn't you tell me? And I knew what he was talking about immediately. And tried to work around it, but then he was like, come on, like, we all saw the video, like, we don't care, we just wish you would have told us, blah 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 blah, kind of like the typical stuff that people would say. And after that, I was like, you know what, my best friends in the world have always supported me, my family supports me, I have this incredible boyfriend, my coworker or my fellow wrestlers respect me for who I am, and I have this awesome platform to be able to help other people that have been, or that could be struggling with the same things that I am, whether you're an athlete, whether you're just just someone struggling with their sexuality, or even if you're like a shy kid like I used to be, who's looking to, break out of his skin and just be more confident in himself. I have an opportunity to help those kinds of people. And I have to say something. So I didn't tell my friends, I didn't tell Mike, I didn't tell anyone, because I wanted the decision to be mine. I didn't want any outside influences. So I think it was January of 17, I just wrote out a message on Facebook and hit send, and the rest is history.
I remember that. I think I watched that video, and then you turned your phone off, right?
Yeah. I sent it out, and I got scared, so I turned off my phone. We were having a couples game night with some of Michael's friends.
Right.
And I let about 45 minutes. I also sent him a relationship request on Facebook. So I waited like 45 minutes, and I was like, Michael, go check your phone. And he turned on his phone. I'll never forget the massive smile that shined on his face when he saw the notification and the post that I made. And he came over, jumped at me, and then we turned the phone on together, and we read through all the messages, which were super positive. And Everyone was crying. It was a really nice moment. I think I have a photo of it somewhere.
Yes, I think. Oh yeah, I heard you say you had a photo. 'Cause I was doing some research, you know. So like, how did you guys actually meet? Like, how did you guys meet? Like, I didn't know that.
Oh goodness, it's a long story. It's actually one of our more popular videos on our YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to, Michael and Anthony, if you haven't.
I'm gonna get to that now.
We'll sum it up with, he was in a relationship at the time that was not the best, kind of physically, kind of mentally abusive at times. So he happened to be on a break with that person. And I just happened to be perusing, was it Instagram? I messaged him on Instagram.
Okay.
Because I happened to have downloaded a Tinder, and then every once in a while I would just kind of switch over to guys to see who was out there. But I wouldn't swipe left or right. I would just kind of creepily see if they had an Instagram attached. And then
I got you. Right.
Follow on Instagram. And he posted a photo, and I was just like, whoa, I have to say something to this kid. And we spoke for 5 minutes, nothing crazy, just introductions and what have you. And then eventually that person happened to message me, and he was like, hey, I think you know my boyfriend Michael, you know, we're back together now, I would appreciate if you wouldn't talk to him. So I was like, oh, like, as someone in the closet, I was like, you know what, I'll just delete you both and I'll never have to like deal with this again. So I deleted them both, and then a couple, I would say maybe 4 months later, I got a friend request from Mike on Facebook, and I was like, ooh, this kid again. Like, should I accept this or like, screw it. Yeah, I accepted it. And then we just got into talking, and then he explained the whole situation of they're on a break. He apologized for the guy contacting me and all that kind of stuff. And they officially ended things because it was too toxic. Gotcha. A couple of months went by. Every so often we would just say hello, and that was about it. And then one night I happened to be sitting at my friend's house. And at the time I was the only single person in my friend group. Everyone else had girlfriends. And we were all sitting around a bonfire. And I was just looking around, absolutely miserable. And I was like, you know, I have to get out of here. So I said, I'm sorry, guys. Love you all. I just need to kind of go and clear my head. And then I remembered Michael and I had said that we should hang out sometime. We never did. So I shot him a text, and he said, it's my birthday at midnight. My friends and I are going out for a few drinks. You're welcome to come. So I went down, and we hit it off immediately. And then we talked until like 5, 6 in the morning. And driving home that night, I was like, this is like really, really different than anything I've ever experienced in my life. And we decided to just keep contacting each other, keep hanging out. And then, you know, 3.5 years later, the rest is history.
Oh, such a cute, that's a really cute story. I didn't know about it, so yeah, that's adorable.
Yeah, it's a long one. I cut out a lot of stuff.
Like, so what is he like? Does he live like in New Jersey, like by you? Does he live?
Yeah, he lives about 15 minutes away from me. That's next up on the kind of life goal list, is to move in together. But there's a couple job opportunities that potentially would mean us leaving the state. So we're trying to not rush into things and put down like a lease on an apartment or something and then have to be stuck there. So eventually we will do that.
Yeah. So that's a cute story. I love that one. Yeah. So like the YouTube. So I love your channel, by the way.
Thank you.
By the way, I love it. I think one of my favorite videos is the Snow Jane one. I think you guys went to the shop though.
We went to Target, I think, that one, right?
Yes. Yeah, you guys always go there, I think.
That was like last night.
We don't have one over here. So I think maybe it might be like an Asda or something for us over here, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's one of my favorite ones. And it was just so cute. You know what I mean? It was just like cozy. And it was just like what we're going to do. It was lovely. Like, I just love.
Thank you.
No, I like the videos. Like, so guys, if I will put like a link to your show, your YouTube channel into this description, by the way, listeners. But yeah, it's like cute, and I'm loving because you kept it up and just like literally just doing so much more with it. Yeah, like I absolutely love it. Like, is YouTube? Do you think it was something like it was on the cards for you? But do you think Michael think actually, come on, Anthony, we're gonna do it? Come on.
I don't particularly think that I would have gone the YouTube route if it wasn't for him, because when we started doing the video, like we had the Laughing Challenge came out, that kind of
Yeah.
got picked up by, I guess, a few news sites when I came out. And then we got a little traction on there. We weren't really taking it seriously. And then just on a whim, we posted the How We Met video. And then all of a sudden it went from 0 views to like 1.3 million, some sort of ridiculous number. And then we realized that, we had an opportunity to, connect with other people and continue to make like really cool videos. And we made it a part of our lifestyle that we would do like weekly vlogs. And we wanted to do a little bit, things a little bit differently than other people. So we sat down, we did some research and just kind of looked at what other gay couples were doing. And we wanted to be as completely different and unique as possible. Like a lot of couples, not all of them, because we do have a lot of friends on YouTube who I guess post similar videos, but we noticed that a decent amount kind of focused more on sexual aspects of the relationship. And we want to take a different approach and put a different light on, I guess, gay couples on YouTube and show our chemistry together and why we're together. So with that mindset, we decided to try and just make our vlogs as authentic and honest as possible, and just try and make it like what you see on our vlogs is exactly how we are without the camera. Like, it's just the only difference is we're holding it on like a little gimbal to make sure the footage looks okay. So we just wanted to shine a different light on what it means to be a gay couple on YouTube.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's why it's one of my favorite like things to watch on there, because I go on YouTube and I'll kid you not, literally, I put it on because I got my partner Justin. I watch it and then he won't see me for like 6 hours. It's addictive because when you stick a video, then another follow up one, I was like, oh, just watch that, and then it's like, shit.
Yeah. You get stuck in like a wormhole of YouTube videos.
Yeah, I haven't seen like live TV or nothing like that for probably like a year. Like,
honestly, same. I was just saying I should probably cancel most of my cable because I don't watch anything that's not streaming or on YouTube. So
yeah, and like if it's like, for example, like this is so random, but like if when you like want to see like the best clips of like a movie or something, just go on YouTube and like I won't even watch the whole movie like again and just watch the best clips. But I love it anyways. So I'll make sure I do the link in this description for everyone. So what's the plans now for you two? So you said you're going to put the moving in thing on hold just for the jobs coming up. But what's your next kind of like? What's the rest of the year? What's your plans for Halloween before you go?
So our plans moving forward is we're just going to continue to pump out as much content as possible on YouTube. Michael has aspirations of pursuing more of an acting career, so I know he's going to start working on that. I've had a goal of the last couple years to try and make myself as well-rounded of a performer as possible. So it's continuing trying to put on the best performances in wrestling, trying to do more commercials that I've done in the past, do more speaking engagements, just try and get myself out there more and help people, and also just, like I said, become a better performer, because I have aspirations on performing on TV one day consistently, hopefully WWE, hopefully AEW, one of those two, or Ring of Honor, whoever will have me. I love professional wrestling, and I would love to do this for the rest of my life. So that's just what's wow, I'm stumbling over my words. That is what's on tap for us. And as far as Halloween, I can't reveal our Halloween costume yet.
Oh, Do you know what? I thought you was going to slip up on me because I know you've been tweeting
Yes.
about
So
Michael's Halloween costume. I know you've been tweeting about that one.
Michael has to do an epic costume every single year. I'm not sure. Do you follow him on Instagram, right?
Yes. So I have. So I think I've been seeing a couple of throwback ones recently.
Yeah. So each year he tries to come up with some ridiculously over the top. Like he did a muscle body paint one. He did a Batman gold painted thing. He was Aquaria last year. So this year we decided to blend our two worlds together, I guess. And we're going to do a wrestling themed Halloween costume. And we have it all set. We took the photos a couple of days ago. And when I tell you that it's spot on, like it's like probably one of the best costumes that we've, as far as like matching in different photos. So we're trying to, I guess, honor an epic, here's the only hit, an epic wrestling duo.
Okay. Also, it is. You are meant to be together. It's a good duo.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
That is the only hint I can give. And I think we're going to post it on Monday.
Okay. So it's not. Is it body painted?
There is no body paint.
I was going to say because you've done it. Are they going to redo it all again on Halloween? Oh. Oh. Okay. So
No,
so Monday.
Iconic wrestling duo.
Okay. I'm excited to see this. I thought you. Honestly, listeners, I thought I was going to slip out because I have been checking your tweets and I know you've been kind of putting it out there, not saying what it is.
I pick it up and not say what it is.
Must be so tricky. Oh, well, I'll look it up for Monday. And the listeners obviously will be able to check it out on when you post it as well, right?
Yeah.
Anthony, it was so lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for taking time out to come on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. If you want to check out more, you make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's at Bones_official. If you want to follow my boyfriend Michael, it's on Twitter and Instagram at Michael Pavano. And if you want to subscribe and check out our pretty cool YouTube channel, it is Michael and Anthony.
I follow both of you guys, by the way, both of you.
Thank you.
I'm a subscriber, so it's just, I'm on there. And the listeners, I think after this, they can't wait to see more about you. And the vlogs, honestly, listeners, is fantastic. I can watch you guys all day. I'm just waiting for the TV deal to come in, let's be honest.
And hopefully by the time it's up, you guys will have seen. I'm planning on, I'm trying to coordinate something with his mom or his brother to prank him again for a Halloween scare. So hopefully this works.
Do it. Just do it. You only live once. Just do it.
Oh, I'm going to. Don't worry.
Enjoy the rest of your day, Annie, and speak to you soon.
Thank you, Scott. Take care.
Bye. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Scott McGlynn Show podcast. Make sure you tweet us at Scott McGlynn and let us know what you learned or enjoyed from the show today. And make sure you subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio.